within us, everyone has the capacity to break the wheel. Everyone has the capacity to tap into their ecosystem of positive emotions. And once you're able to do that, you'll notice that life just becomes easier. Your personality shines through. You become more likable. You start to attract people into your life. People will begin to associate you with positivity and you have more influence. And above all, you're just going to feel better about yourself. So every human has a need for validation, especially as children. Children in particular need to be validated. And that type of validation is the validation that they exist. If you don't validate a child's existence, they will eventually die, right? That's been proven. You need to make eye contact with those little things or else they die and then you get in trouble. Fucking crazy, right? So the need for validation is equal to your level of happiness and security. The more unhappy, the more insecure you feel, the deeper the desire for validation. The desire for validation is not a conscious thing. You're not aware of it. But what you are aware of is the need for security and your desire to be happy. If you are unhappy and you feel insecure in terms of socially or where you stand in life, I could promise you, you have behavior that are validating seeking. And what you don't notice is that this desire for validation comes with a pattern. It comes with a behavior pattern. For example, me, when I desire validation, I'm usually a giver. I'll give you things. I'll try to make you happy. I'll create art for you. I'll do something and give it to you to see your reaction. I'll buy you a fucking donut. I don't give a fuck, right? That's just how I am. Taken to the extreme, then you become an emotional giver, an emotional leash, somebody who desperately needs to give to get in return. Some people, they get their validation and they learn to get validation. They gotta put people down, or you start chasing and you become super submissive to your partners. The mechanism of how you seek validation is different, but it is a consistent pattern. And you have to be aware of those patterns, because those patterns are so automatic that you're not aware of it. You're not aware that you have patterns that come whenever you feel a need of validation. And so it keeps you in the dark and you can never fix it because of it. Awareness of the pattern is usually the first step, but let's keep going. So the more uncontrollable emotions you have, the more you automatically cling to validation. And those uncontrollable emotions usually are fear and anxiety, right? The fear of being alone, the fear of being ostracized, the fear of not fitting in. And this is all unconscious. You're not aware of this. It's very hard to be aware of stuff like this. But the human animal has developed a mechanism to resolve that, and that's the self-image. From an early age, we rely on attention. We do everything for attention. We crave validation, but we can't depend on others for this. So we learn to create a self-image that validates us from within. This helps us deal with our negative qualities and find ways to deal with them in a positive way. When we feel down, we go to this self-image that makes us feel good about ourselves, and it validates us. It's almost like our internal hype man. This self-image is like a thermostat, here to help us when we feel down. We don't depend on others for self-esteem. We have it from within, right? And unfortunately, some kids, as children, didn't develop that, right? But how did they develop that? Well, as children, our parents encouraged us to be independent. If we had healthy parents, if we had narcissistic parents or parents who are codependent, you never really develop that self-image, and that's why our childhood is so important. Then our self-image takes root and it grows slowly. So it's pretty much based on the reaction that your parents had to your distress and how much your parents encouraged independence. Other people's opinions also is a way to validate ourselves. In fact, when we step out of childhood, the number one source of self-esteem generally is from other people's reactions to us. There is no easier way to give a child healthy self-esteem than giving that little kid positive feedback from his peers and friends. It's that simple. But unfortunately, most people don't get it, right? This self-image is what we use to uplift ourselves. This valve is the second deepest level of self-esteem. So the first level of self-esteem that we tend to feel is other people's opinions, right? People telling us we're good looking, people telling us we're worthy. The second level is what we do with what they tell us and how we see ourselves when we are alone, right? That is the second level of self-esteem. And that second level of self-esteem is what pretty much most people have to in order to feel good about themselves. It's how they view themselves. Are they losers? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they attractive? Are they not? And this self-image can be molded. This self-image can be shaped around. That's the beauty of it. And I'm gonna show you how to do that, right? Now, the deepest level of self-esteem is presence, is the awareness that of yourself. It's the awareness of being aware, that deep level, the silent witness that brings happiness and joy to you by simply acknowledging your awareness. Like people don't understand is that the reason why we rely on validation from other people and the reason why we need the self-image is because all of those things produce positive emotions. And these positive emotions only happen out of reacting to an object. And that object is people's reaction, and that object is your self-image, right? Those are all mind-made objects. This level of self-esteem that I'm talking to you about is not an object. You are learning to self-generate joyful emotions out of pure nothing. And that is uncomfortable for the ego because it doesn't validate it. It is not validating its existence. And that's the goal that I want you guys to go towards. Having self-esteem from a place of presence. The deepest level. This level doesn't require objects of the mind for a change of state. It only requires connection to reality that at first hurts and bombs soon afterwards. For example, let's just say you feel bad, right? And now you have a few options how to feel good. Ask your friends, hey, am I a good person? And they tell you you're a good person. You feel good, right? Now, let's just say you feel bad. And then you look back at your life and say, okay, I'm actually a pretty cool person. I remember that I did this, that I did that, that I did that. And now your reaction to that object brings happiness, right? It changed your state. Those two types of validations is object oriented. This type of validation is you feel bad, but now you breathe, or you scan your body through a body scan meditation. Keep scanning your body. And what happens is that your brain chemistry changes. It actually calms the mind whenever you focus on an object of your awareness that is not mind made. You're just aware of breath, and you'll notice after a few minutes you feel good about yourself. You feel happy. It's the equivalent of cold that's air conditioner and cold that's outside. They're both cold, but both feel different. The cold that's air conditioned is the validation you feel from objects. The cold that comes from a place of presence is the natural cold you feel outside, where there's more diversity in the cold. Or better yet, it's almost like the light in your house that's very limited and that is only a very limited spectrum versus the light of the sun that has an unlimited spectrum. That's the type of happiness that I refer to. The happiness that comes from objects and the happiness that comes from pure awareness. The problem is that the happiness that comes from pure awareness does not come with ego validation. And we're so used to ego validation. It's almost like people who are only used to getting their H2O through soda. We're used to getting our happiness through non-nutritious means, which is our ego, which is soda. And what I'm telling you is drink the water. Learn to find happiness from awareness. It's not that it doesn't have that extra spike of the ego, but it is better for you. And if you don't learn how to find validation from the deepest level of your awareness, there's always going to be an undercurrent of anxiety and insecurity. And all of those other two levels, which is your self-image and other people's validation, it's always going to be infected by you never really finding peace from the deepest level of your being. So how do you develop something that's sustainable, that has deep roots and foundation, and that could take a few hits, that could take your reality shifting, that could take the death of a loved one, that could take somebody insulting how you look, your weight, your image, your reputation? How do you build that? Well, one, you developing a positive self-image, right? We can't control the reactions we've gotten from our parents, so we got to forget about that. We got to focus on what's in front of us. First, start developing a visualization process where you start visualizing yourself how you want to be in the future. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Go find the original version and read that book. But in summary of that book, this is what he says. Everyone has a self-image, and the beauty about this self-image is that it could be changed and morphed around. And the way that you change it is by, for 10 minutes a day, imagine the person you want to be. How do you want to act? How do you want to see yourself? How do you want others to see yourself? And start visualizing yourself in the future, how you want to act. See it from a first person's perspective, and then see it from a third person's perspective. Visualize that 10 minutes a day. You don't have to visualize it clearly with a lot of detail. Just visualize it. Studies show that if you visualize it with too much detail, it doesn't come to fruition. That's fucking crazy. That's ironic as hell, but that's what I've seen. So just visualize it 10 minutes a day. Do it for 30 days in a row. See what happens. What would happen is that if you start visualizing yourself as, let's just say you're lazy and you have no motivation, start visualizing yourself as a hard worker, as somebody who's motivated, as somebody who's passionate. Keep visualizing that every day. 10 minutes a day, twice a day. What you're gonna notice is that that image, you're gonna start believing it, and you're gonna start anticipating yourself behaving that way. The anticipation will come with a surge of good emotions, because the anticipation creates dopamine, and that dopamine is a surge of positive emotions along with energy, and so that energy will lead to action, and then the action itself builds self-esteem. And you keep doing that over time. The more you visualize, the more you're gonna feel. The more you feel, the more you act. The more you act, the more you're gonna self-validate yourself. And that's how you build a momentum of positive self-esteem. The next way to do it is through meditation process, right? The first meditation process is called the loving kindness meditation. So the way you do this is like this, and I even made a video about it, but the reason why this works is because studies have shown that this type of meditation literally raises self-esteem like no other meditation. It doesn't, at the speed and how much the results are. Self-love is self-validation, people. So the way you do it is this. You sit down, put sentiments of music if you want. I don't give a fuck. I put Titanic music. And then I do this visualization. Why? Because this music makes me feel good. It gives me emotion, okay? It gives me the warm, fuzzy feelings. If heavy metal does that shit for you, go ahead and do that. Put whatever you could to make the emotion stronger, right? Okay, so then you start visualizing this. Imagine you, right, when you were in your most needed state of mind, when you needed support. And then imagine somebody that you love. And then imagine somebody who is like a teacher or somebody that you care about that's not a family member. And then imagine somebody that you are indifferent about. And then imagine somebody that you hate, right? Go in that order. And what you're going to do is wish them the best. So you're going to say three things. I wish you, may you be happy, may you be loved, and may you be at peace. See that in your mind. Repeat that as long for each person, for each of the 5 categories. Repeat that, and repeat it with as much passion as you can. Put your body into it. Like, put your body into it, and go and do that 3 or 4 times, going through each person one time. What you're going to notice is that after the meditation, you're going to notice you feel more energy, you feel happier, birds are chirping happier, heck, and they might even be singing a song, the Hakuna Matata, I don't give a fuck, but you start visualizing that, and that will start giving you positive emotions. Whenever you feel down, whenever you feel the need for validation, do this visualization and validate them. What you really are doing is that you're interacting with different parts of your personality, different parts of your psyche, in the form of other people, the people who like. That's why I'm telling you. And loving kindness, it's called loving kindness meditation, metta meditation. Do it for 30 days. And if you don't feel good, I'm like, you're gonna have to look into your heart to see whether or not there's something there, because this meditation works. This has been shown multiple times. So whenever you feel bad, just give it a 30-day trial. Make that, you know how people feel bad and then they smoke a cigarette? Just do this for 30 days. Anytime you feel bad, do this meditation and see what happens, all right? Now, the next meditation is just normal breathing meditation, or any meditation that you could find. The point is, sit your butt down, and let's just say you could only meditate for 5 minutes. Good. Do it for 20 minutes. I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to sit and meditate and be so uncomfortable you want to get up now. And I want you to not move and keep noticing the breath. Because studies show when you do things that you don't want to do every day, you get happier. Your self-esteem rises because you're doing something difficult. And even though it hurts, when you finish it, you feel good about yourself. So that's why I do a 1-hour meditation most mornings, right? I just sit down and do a 1-hour meditation. Boom. Right? I fucking hate that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate that shit. But once I'm done, I feel good about myself. Those things add up over months, over weeks and months. And it adds up to having self-esteem that comes from your actions. And that's the whole point. You learn to because in your body, there is a mechanism to feel good for no fucking reason. There is. You just don't use it because you never learned. And it's not comfortable to learn that. It's a little uncomfortable to, like, we're so used to holding on to mind-made objects and to seeing people's reactions to feel good about ourselves, that when we find something that allows us to feel good without doing anything other than breathing or anything other than bringing awareness, it's a little weird. It really is. Look, people, this is how you do it, people. How you find self-validation. You're validating yourself, and your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself is not based on a thought. It's not based on, I feel good because I succeeded in this. No, your happiness, your self-esteem comes from a place of just awareness. By bringing awareness to sensation, it creates positive emotions inside of you, and you don't need to repeat a word or think of a thought to keep that positive emotion there. All you need to do is just keep awareness of the breath, or keep scanning the body and keep meditating, and that feeling stays there, and you don't need a thought or somebody to tell you to feel good. That's self-validation. And the beauty about it is that it adds upon itself. Momentum will become your friend, and all of a sudden the happiness you feel will double by the weeks and months. That the peace that you feel will get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, to the point that you're gonna forget the old way of being happy, and this is gonna be your natural state of mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have 2 nieces, one is 8, 19, and one is 14, 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women of power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.